Welcome into the show. Today's San Francisco 49ers report is sponsored by 8 Sleep. You can get $200 off their pod cover. Control your coolness as well as the heating on your mattress pad with 8 Sleep. We'll tell you more about them coming up here in just a little while. 8sleep.com/chatsports, $200 off the pod cover. More on that here coming up just around the corner. As for what we're getting into on today's show, we have an encouraging Deebo Samuel update. The San Francisco 49ers have 2 MVP finalists in the NFL. And we're also going to dissect and talk about a fascinating matchup on Sunday in the NFC Championship game. You can stay tuned to find out what that matchup is going to be here in just a few moments. But let's begin with the latest around Deebo Samuel and his availability going into the NFC Championship game on Sunday, with the winner advancing to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Deebo today at the SAP Performance Center, a limited participant at practice. And we've had a couple of good developments here over the last couple of days, because after he hurt that shoulder against Green Bay on Saturday night in the divisional round, his status was 50-50. But as the days and weeks have progressed, or I should days have progressed, the status for Deebo Samuel started to get a little bit better. On Wednesday, there was a little bit of a positive turn. He was at practice. He was doing running drills. He was doing some sprints, carrying a football. Didn't look as though he was in any pain. There was a video out there very reminiscent of a Bigfoot video, because everybody wants to know the status of Deebo Samuel. He was seen carrying a football right behind George Kittle, and he looked to be okay. And then today at practice on Thursday, a limited participant, and that is a great sign for his potential possibility to play in this game. We also have an update from General Manager John Lynch on number 19. Here's what he had to say today on Thursday. Deebo's doing really well in his rehab, I'll tell you that. We've been encouraged by the early signs. We did the scans and all that. We got good news there. And then it's kind of, okay, what's his pain level? What is his range of motion? Do we clear him? Do we allow for that? We sure would love to have him. So I think there's still a lot of time left in the week, and we're a better team when he's out there. So we're going to do everything in our power. He's going to do everything in his power so that he can be out there. And then there's this from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, that Deebo is still in a lot of pain, still struggling to get full movement in that shoulder, but he was able to do rehab right after the injury. So the Niners win on Saturday against Green Bay. Deebo's knocked out. Can you imagine how difficult that must have been to take for a player who's as competitive and as valuable to his team as Deebo Samuel? He gets hurt. He undergoes x-rays. X-rays come back negative, and he's like, look, we play on Sunday in the NFC title game. I'm trying to make it to the second Super Bowl in my career, and this time win it, not lose it like we did in 2019. I got to start this rehab right now. And we've talked about this throughout this week, the impact that Deebo has on this Niners team. He's the offense's X factor. He's one of the most unique and dynamic players in the National Football League. I like to call him a one-of-one weapon, and since getting drafted in 2019, the Niners' record with Deebo as compared to without Deebo, pretty stark difference. Niners 53-23 with him. Their winning percentage nearly 70%. The offense averages nearly 27 points per game, 138.5 rushing yards per game, and the turnover differential, 8. And that's +8. Win-loss without Deebo, they're 8-9. Winning percentage goes down to 47%. Points per game at 24. Rushing yards per game dips. And then the turnover differential, -8. That's a 16 turnover swing right there when the Niners have Deebo and when they're without Deebo. So it's almost like both sides of the ball start to press a little bit when Deebo's on the field as compared to him being off the field. Brock Purdy, talking about how special of a weapon Deebo is and his value to this football team. Obviously, he's probably the best playmaker in this league. You get the ball in his hands, he can do whatever he wants. He makes guys miss. He breaks tackles. He's strong. He's tough. He's got grit. And we all feed off of it. Deebo definitely gives us some juice and energy and momentum on our offense. If he's not playing, obviously, that's tough on us, but we'll have guys to be able to play as well that can create that as well. So if you're asking me, we'd love for Deebo to play. What stands out to me about what Brock Purdy said right there is that Deebo brings juice, Deebo brings energy. Deebo brings momentum to our offense. That is something, in addition to the unique skill set, that cannot be replicated right there. And look, when you ask me, I don't think there's any way that on this stage, with what's at stake, with the win that gets you into the Super Bowl, that Deebo Samuel is going to miss this game. I think he's playing. I think number 19 is on the field. And I'll tell you this, the ovation that he gets at Levi's Stadium is going to be crazy because Niner fans, as we know, are very smart. They know the impact that he has on a football game and what he means to the team. Deebo. Whoa. I think we're going to see him for the right to play in Super Bowl 58. If you're pumped up for Niners Lions, I need everybody watching right now to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And of course, we always appreciate your feedback down in the comment section. As I mentioned off the rip, we have a brand new sponsor that's really supporting the show. It is 8 Sleep, the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. Start the new year right and invest in the rest that you deserve with the 8 Sleep pod. As I mentioned, it's basically like a mattress pad that goes over your mattress, and it's heating or cooling controlled right from the power of your phone. You know how important sleep is to me. We're grinding year-round to provide you with daily Niners coverage. I also really care about my health, wellness, and fitness, and sleep is at the backbone, the foundation of that. My new running streak, getting closer and closer to 300 days. Little meditation before sleep. I use the 8 Sleep pod cover. I feel absolutely amazing. This pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet, and it allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. It's pretty awesome. No better way to improve your day-to-day sleep than with 8 Sleep. So go to 8sleep.com/chatsports. $200 off and free shipping on the pod cover. Start the new year right. Invest in the rest that you deserve with the 8 Sleep pod. Next up on the show, NFL MVP finalists have been named, and what do you notice right here? 2 San Francisco 49ers in the Final 5. Lamar Jackson, the odds-on favorite. Yeah, he beat the 49ers on Christmas night, so that's why he's the odds-on favorite. In that battle of the 2 best teams in the NFL, Dak Prescott, the choke artist, he's at number 2. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, rounding out the list. I think it's going to go to Lamar, and I think rightfully so. He's had a really special year. But let's recap what Purdy was able to do this year and what Christian McCaffrey was able to do this year as well. Purdy among all quarterbacks in the NFL. Passing touchdowns, number 3. Yards per attempt, number 1. Deep ball completion percentage, number 1. Pressured completion percentage, number 4. Red zone completion percentage, number 2. True passer rating, number 1. QBR, number 1. EPA, number 1. But everybody wants to tell me he can't throw the long ball. Everybody wants to tell me he can't elevate his teammates. His receiver target separation was 14th in the NFL, but his deep ball catchable rate percentage, number 1 in the NFL. You know what that signifies? Accuracy, anticipation, being able to read a defense. And as Steve Young told Adam Schefter, the nuances of the mature quarterbacking skills is what Brock Purdy possesses. So that's what Purdy did in 2023. How about Christian McCaffrey? One of the best non-quarterback seasons that we have seen in recent memory, and one of the best years that you'll ever see from a skill position player and a running back. More than 2,000 all-purpose yards with more than 1,400 rushing yards, 564 through the air, and tied for an NFL high alongside Raheem Mostert with 21 touchdowns. Who was more valuable to the Niners this year in 2023? Brock Purdy, type his jersey number 13, or Christian McCaffrey, number 23. What a matchup we are going to see on Sunday between 2 elite players at their respective positions. Nick Bosa, defensive end for the Niners. Penei Sewell, right tackle for the Detroit Lions. It is going to be a phenomenal matchup that could go a long way in deciding this football game on Sunday. And if you're about trench play, this matchup is for you. Penei Sewell with how big he is and how quickly he moves, like a ballerina on his feet, it's ridiculous. And then you have the physical specimen that is Nick Bosa, who's so strong, who has mastered the art of getting after the quarterback. Now, why is Nick Bosa going to play such an important role in this game? You generate a pressure on Jared Goff and you put him under siege, he's prone to making mistakes. And he's not the same quarterback in a dirty pocket as compared to when he's in a clean pocket. According to Pro Football Focus, Jared Goff this year completed just 51% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 9 picks. And he was pressured on 21% of his snaps, yet he only scrambled 7 times. He likes to operate within the confines of the pocket. He is not mobile. He can't escape pressure. And if you sack him time and time again, that Detroit Lions offense is going to sputter. His passer rating went under pressure, 62.9. When he is kept clean in the pocket, though, it goes all the way up to 116.1. That is the second best mark in the NFL behind guess who? Brock Purdy. So to really summarize this talking point, if the San Francisco 49ers can get pressure on Jared Goff, I think they win this football game. And Nick Bosa is certainly due in the postseason. First 8 playoff games in his career, 8 sacks. Last 4 playoff games, he actually has 0 sacks. So Penei Sewell has given up 1 sack on 674 pass blocking snaps. Nick Bosa, ladies and gentlemen, is due. Here are his tallies this year. 10.5 sacks, certainly down from the 18.5 that he had a year ago when he won Defensive Player of the Year. Still had a really good season. 35 quarterback hits, 60 hurries, and 95 pressures. And then Penei Sewell, he's developing quickly into one of the best tackles, not just right tackles in the game. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 90.7 for Penei Sewell. Pass blocking grade of 78.1. A run blocking grade because Ben Johnson will often use him as a pooler of 93.1. Pass blocking snaps, 674. He's only given up 1 sack, 5 hits allowed, 20 pressures, and 7 penalties. Who will win the day between the elite Nick Bosa and the elite Penei Sewell? I'm putting my money on Bosa, and I think he has at least 1 sack against the non-mobile Jared Goff on Sunday.